This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Right, if you guys cast your minds back not so long ago, I did a video where I questioned, is it possible that Shelly Finkel and or Frank Warren sabotaged the Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder fight? And Eddie Hearn today has said, which I'll leave a link in the description box of this video where you can go watch it for yourself. In other words, you don't have to take my word for it, just give it a watch, where Eddie Hearn said on IFL TV while he was over there in Chicago that he's now cutting Shelly Finkel out of the deal, which was his original thing anyway, where he said that he would prefer to deal directly with Al Heyman and Deontay Wilder's trainer slash manager in Jay Diaz. Negotiate through them because Shelly Finkel just didn't like Eddie Hearn. And Shelly Finkel has this personal issue with Eddie Hearn, mainly because Eddie Hearn called him Shirley Winkle and, you know, calls him old and all that kind of stuff. So rather than just keep his business head on, Shelly Finkel may have just got personal with it and acted on emotion and sabotaged the deal, did everything that he could to make sure that Eddie Hearn didn't promote one of the biggest fights in boxing. Now, bearing in mind that Shelly Finkel is not exactly the biggest believer in Deontay Wilder. Right when Deontay Wilder won the title on his 33rd fight, 33 fights he won the title, Shelly Finkel put out a statement and says, do not rush Deontay Wilder. He's still a baby, he's still learning, he's still a prospect. In other words, don't try and put him in with the big fights. That's Shelly Finkel said that. And I'll put a screenshot at some point in this video so you guys can have a little look of it yourself. So there's so many things that point towards Shelly Finkel sabotaging. Again, I'm not accusing. I'm just stating a question that it's possible that he did because he has a personal issue. Likewise with Frank Warren. Frank Warren doesn't want anything to do with Eddie Hearn, and the last thing in the world that he wants is his British rival, a guy that he absolutely hates, to promote Wilder versus Joshua. He doesn't want that. So between Shelly Finkel and Frank Warren, potentially what they may have done was got together to make sure that this fight didn't happen. Hence the reason why the $50 million was coming from BT Sport, Frank Warren's side, knowing full well that Anthony Joshua cannot fight on BT Sport. It's legally impossible for that to happen. Anthony Joshua is legally obligated to fight on Sky Sports. The only way that the opposing team can force him off Sky Sports is if they lose a purse bid. And the only way you can lose a purse bid is if the challenger is mandatory. Deontay Wilder is another champion, therefore it's voluntary. So while Team Wilder could have owned the whole show, they could have chose a venue, could have chose a date, could have chose the broadcasters throughout the entire world, except the UK, where Sky Sports is. Could not touch it. So them trying to put it on BT Sport showed full well that either A, they didn't want the fight, or B, they are stupid to not have known this, but even though it's common sense. But you know what? They did know it. They did know it. So this whole 50 million was fake. It wasn't real. Okay? And Shelly Finkel just didn't want this fight. He just didn't want to risk Deontay Wilder in with Joshua. And also, potentially, he just didn't want to work with Eddie Hearn. So now Eddie Hearn is doing what he said originally, which was cut Shelly Finkel out of the deal. They're not negotiating through Shelly Finkel anymore. They're going to go straight through to Al Heyman and Jay Diaz, which, as I said before, is what Eddie Hearn was saying that he wanted to do in the beginning, because of the way that Shelly Finkel was acting, because he keeps coming out and contradicting himself. You know, we've always known the date and venue, but originally they've been saying they didn't know the date and venue. They didn't accept a contract or terms from Anthony Joshua. Well, again, it's here online that he did. He released a statement saying that he did to numerous online articles. So Shelly Finkel just doesn't want this fight. I think it's plainly obvious, isn't it? So Eddie Hearn cutting out Shelly Finkel. Some people may disagree with it, say, yeah, but he's Deontay Wilder's manager. No. Deontay Wilder has a number of managers. Al Heyman as his advisor, and his own trainer is also his manager, Jay Diaz. So they don't actually need Shelly Finkel at all. They just don't need him. Because for all anybody knows, I guess Eddie Hearn is just doing process of elimination. Because when you agree to terms, you send a contract, and then you don't sign it, something is wrong. Somebody's in the ear saying, even though your highest payday is 2.1 million, you're turning down $15 million when you've been saying for a long time it's not about money, it's about legacy. Yet you don't sign for undisputed, even though you love your fans and you promise your fans. And he doesn't sign. Something is amiss. So by removing Shelly Finkel from the equation, it narrows down a potential source as to who doesn't want to fight. People can say Joshua don't want to fight. People say Eddie Hearn don't want to fight. Listen, they sent a contract. If Deontay Wilder just signed that contract, the fight will be on. And he'll be getting $15 million. And potentially, by beating Joshua, undisputed, huge rematch, hence a crap load more money. But the same people who've been going for a long, long time, why do Joshua fans talk about Anthony Joshua's pockets? You ain't earning nothing. That's weak stuff. But yeah, as soon as contracts are nearing, these same people, these Wilder fans, are saying, well, Deontay Wilder shouldn't sign that. He should walk away. He should do this. He should do that. They don't want the fight. Why don't they want the fight? We're talking about other channels here who don't want the fight because once the fight happens, if Joshua beats Wilder, they have no more subject to talk about because nobody ever watches their stuff unless it's Anthony Joshua based. Hence the views. The more views you get, the more money you get with the AdSense, and of course, the more subs, etc., etc., etc. They need Joshua, much like Wilder needs Joshua for profile. So they don't want the fight. They want this to string on, much like Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather. Now, they're not going to admit this because it's them admitting that they've been conning you all this time. And they've been trying to brainwash you. And unfortunately for a lot of people, they're falling for it. And they actually believe that Joshua ducked the fight. They actually believe this. Because they can't get around their head this 50 million, when I've just told you where the 50 million come from, Frank Warren, BT Sport, and the fact that Wilder had a contract that he agreed to, but didn't sign. But it's not about money, right? It's about legacy. Of course it is. So anyway, go over and watch that video, and of course before you go over there, click that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Give that 3-minute video a watch, come back here, drop yourself a comment as to what you think of Eddie Hearn's statement, cutting Shelly Finkel out of the deal. Drop your thoughts below about it, click that thumbs up, and of course subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.